I just woke up and
I am addicted to black coffee. So, what's up guys? A couple weeks ago I smashed the oil pan on the Audi TT and I literally just been putting it off. Every single day I'm like, oh, I'll do it the next day, I'll do it the next day. And my ADHD has me working on the Mark 5 and then tinker on stuff. That stuff doesn't matter on the Mark 6. And long story short, I was mobbing the TT on a dirt road with lots of potholes. Shouldn't have been there, but I was. And well, we smashed oil pan up. I don't know how well you can see up there, but clearly there's a lot of oil. The oil pan is quite literally inverted. It's supposed to be round on the bottom and it's no longer round. It's bent up bad. We've already previously smashed an oil pan. 2 days into ownership of the TT, a year ago, I smashed a pothole on a really nice road. For some reason it was there. And you can see I blew out the back housing on this oil pan. So I got the hybrid pan, because the hybrid pan's literally your best next option. If you smash it, it's not gonna shatter and you can drive home. Well, they don't sell a replacement pan, so I had to go ahead and hit up somebody on Facebook. Shout out to Rob. Rob's a supporter of the channel. Didn't even know at the time, but he messaged me back on one of the Facebook posts I made. And I got a whole new oil pan, but today I'm gonna just be replacing the bottom section. You can see it's a hybrid pan. It's got the aluminum on the top side, the steel stamp out on the bottom side, and that's attached by a bunch of 4 mils. Since buying this oil pan, I've come across a couple people who said they might be able to source me the bottom pan, and I might be able to purchase about 100 of these at a time, which would be awesome because then I can help you guys source these bottom pieces. If you also have hybrid pans, you won't run into the same situation as me as having to buy a whole nother pan in order to just swap out the little metal piece that only costs a few bucks in China. So ever since I got into cars, I've always sworn by Liqui 5W40, and that's what I've always run in the 1.8. But since I decided to do it so last minute and I don't have 5W40 and I can't just go right down the road to get Liqui, I'm gonna use Castrol 5W40, which is what all the local 1.8 wizards swear by anyway. So we're running Castrol today, boys. If anyone from Liqui sees this, please sponsor me. Woo! I think that's what I need. Castrol Edge, 5W40, $38. Now that I'm back home, I have to get the Mark 5 out of the garage, which is surprisingly is really easy. It starts right up, it drives straight, everything's perfect. It's got a few issues with, it's got a smoking issue. I don't know if it's like fuel filter or whatnot. I got a few PD people trying to help me out, and I've been rating it with VCDS. Hopefully I can figure that one out, but car starts right up, so let's pull this thing out of the garage. Tire sounded debeated, but I parked it, so whatever. A little preparation before we pull it in. And of course a paper towel to check the oil before we actually move it because it's been leaking for a couple days, but when I initially hit it, I kind of overfilled it. And I checked it the other day and it was good, but I overfilled it in anticipation for it leaking on the drive home, but it was still good like a day ago after sitting for 2 weeks, so should be good. Shout out to K&N Air Filters for always providing me with the cleanest air filters. They hook it up. They're not a sponsor of the channel, but whenever I need something, they hook me up, so which is really cool. Oil's right where it needs to be. So it has a leak, but like I said, I overfilled it. So it's right where it needs to be now. It leaked out just a little bit on that cardboard. Now let's pull this thing back into the garage. Okay, this is actually nuts. I didn't think it was gonna reach, but by the grace of the heavens, it like just barely made it. And since there's a boat battery in the Mark 5 right now, it's got these little studs that like help it work even better. It's awesome. And those wires are stretched, but I just want to start this thing, so. Okay. Just started the Mark 5 so that this can charge. I always have a car running whenever I try to jump start something, but I saw a guy on TikTok. Of course, TikTok information, you guys are like, don't have the car you're jumping on because it can, like you, dude, I'm gonna jump this thing right now. Watch this. Oh my God, it started! As you guys can see, the battery that I use on that car is a PC680. It's an Odyssey PC680, so it's a really small battery. You shouldn't let it sit for like more than a week. And with it being locked, it died probably within the first 4 days, and it's been dead for over a week and a half. What you know about it? So I brought TT inside, and it's super nice being in here because it's so much smaller than the Mark 6. Like, this thing literally has so much room all around it. But I just stomped out a laptop, walked right across the top of it, just for the clip. It's probably destroyed. But I'm just gonna get this thing on wheel ramps, prop her up in the air, drain the oil out, do a quick swap. But it never goes as easy as you plan. So let's get into it. Sweet, so now we got this side and this side up in the air. We got blocks behind the wheels. I'm gonna go ahead and start by just draining the oil. So I'm about to open the drain bolt so I can empty it into this catch pan, but upon a closer inspection, it seems that the oil is actually leaking from around the edges. So I think when the impact happened, it bent the pan itself and is allowing it to leak from these areas, but you can very easily see it's bent up. I could probably keep driving like that, and I did about 60 miles on top of the initial damage, and it seemed to drive fine, but I do not want to drive around with that or any leaks at all. So I'm gonna break this drain bolt loose with this magical 8, and we're gonna get to draining. Just like that, baby. Little to no oil on my hands. Just a little residue from holding that thing upside down. Oil stinks of fuel. It had a misfire for a while and a clogged fuel filter, which could make, uneven burn, which would allow a lot of oil to get fuel soaked, I guess we'll call it. I don't really know the lingo of it, but yeah, that smells like raw fuel. So I'm glad we're getting this out of the car, even though it's only about 1,200 miles old, maybe a little more. I don't really know. But we're throwing that Castrol in there. So everyone says it's the best. Oh my God, look at that. No metallics though, baby, no metallics, we're good. So I'm actually gonna start this process by removing all the bolts from this oil pan before I go underneath the car. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Wow, they recommend you replace the sealant before throwing it on the car, and I see why. There's basically no sealant at all. That's crazy. Give you guys a better look at this two-piece combination. These are basically impossible to find, so that's why I had to buy a whole nother pan, but it's nice to have a two-piece pan sometimes. But here's a better look at how thin that gasket is. I guess doesn't have to be too thick, but it doesn't look like there's too much precision going on. All the holes are filled, it's in the threads. But super easy to remove, which is nice. As long as we get this side cleaned up, get new Bond on there, and then we got a mated under there. That's the real key. For a minute so it doesn't get too messy. Since it's smashed up, it wasn't all able to come out of the drain bolt. I'll be back in a minute. All right, it's been about, I'm not even joking, it's been about 15 seconds, and I'm just like, you know what? We gotta get the contact. Oh yes, that actually went really well. I can't even lie. That swung, it's like half an inch from just, wow. And the edge of it got caught on that. Wow, that's amazing. It didn't get moved, damaged, bent out of the way, nothing. Everything looks great. Wow. This is what a 189,000 mile engine looks like. It actually looks really freaking good up there. I'm stoked on this. While we're up in here, I wanted to point out the cool thing about this is I could see where I put the sealant last time, and look at how perfect it's squashed out all around the whole perimeter. It's squashed out on every edge so perfectly. Also, the upper portion of the pan doesn't look cracked or distorted in any way, so the oil that was seeping out of the edges was probably because the impact distorted this pan and caused it to buckle, so it was leaking out from various different areas. But now that we got this pan out, we're gonna be able to put new silicone on this bottom portion of the pan, clean this top portion of the pan off, and seal the two of them together properly. Well, thankfully, I don't remember the last experience I had with taking off silicone. And I think my brain just shut it out for good reason. 7:45 to 8:35, exactly 45 minutes it took me to do this. Or 50 minutes it took me to do this. Literally horrible, but it's super clean. All I gotta do is degrease it now and apply our sealant. Got the silicone laid onto the lower pan. It's not the prettiest job, but it'll hold. It'll hold. Perfect. Ta-da! All the bolts are tightened up. Oh my goodness. POV of me for the past 3 hours. Oh, sh. Nice and nah. As we all know, the Jimmy Oaks pour. Oh. Oh. I'm too good with it. So we got it filled with oil. I waited till the next day to do it so I can let the silicone get nice and hard before I put oil in it. You can just put oil in the car with fresh silicone, but I wanted to give it some time to set up. It's supposed to be a full 24 hours, so we gave it 14 hours. So the oil's topped off. It's on the right spot on the dipstick. The only question is, does the battery have enough charge in it? Before I start, I'm gonna give it a few bumps to the key. Oh yeah, no, that's not good. I think we're good now, baby. Get this unhooked. Doesn't look like there's any leaks under there, which is awesome. Yo. Alrighty, well that's gonna be a wrap on today's video, guys. We got that oil pan swapped over. We just hit 54,000 subscribers, which is crazy. And I hope you guys come back for more. Peace.